Racial injustice. I will be presenting it again just for an overview of the class. If you got any questions, just let me know. So the purpose of my speech is to inform myself and others about the racial injustice that has been going on decades, centuries ago, even to the present. As we know, racial injustice isn't something new, and in its correspondence with the justice system, there is really no difference. We are to be convinced that the law is to be upheld, and we are supposed to follow these laws, and the people under law enforcement are supposed to follow these exact same laws as well, but that's really how it never works. Even in a country where our national anthem says, "One nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all," there's really no justice for all. We have always been divisible by skin color, by nationality, by race. Some of us even by weight, by how you look. You know, we're just divisible in every way possible. So I wanted to shine light on that situation and talk more about it. You would think under oath that law enforcement will follow these same laws that they have taken an oath for, just like they expect the citizens of this country to follow. But it's never been like that. We have seen injustice inside the police system, inside of courts, inside of federal courts. The list just goes on. So one case that I want to start my speech off with is a 14-year-old boy that was killed in Mississippi, as we all know him as Emmett Till. He was wrongfully taken from his uncle's cabin. He was beat, he was cut, he was shot in the head, he was thrown in the Mississippi River. All because a white woman lied on him and said he whistled. And even when evidence came out against him that he was innocent, the court still acquitted his killers. If you don't know what acquitted means, basically they got off scot-free. So the court acquitted his killers and basically told his parents that, well, his mom, because his dad wasn't around, his mom, his grandma, that he wasn't innocent and that the prosecutor's evidence was not reliable or credible. So he really didn't get no justice. He got sent home in a box, all because he was a little black boy. They needed somebody to blame and kill for the murder. For the whistling to the white man. Another case in 2020 with the racial injustice is George Floyd. At the start of 2020, I believe in like January, he was a common black man. He was selling CDs on the side of the street, and the police stopped him. They didn't have probable cause to stop him. They didn't have probable cause to search him. And they basically wrestled him to the ground because he was telling them, like, he know his rights. You don't have probable cause to search me. So they take that as, you know, disrespect, or I guess you could say insubordinance, however they took it. They wrestled him to the ground, 4 of them. They had their knees planted on his chest, his head, his neck, even after multiple times of him saying he couldn't breathe. And I honestly really feel like they got sent to prison, the cops, just because the videos came out. Because a week before the videos came out, they were trying to bury it and say that he was fighting the police and he assaulted one of them. But the video came out and, you know, the world went crazy. We had riots, looting, which was, I feel like, unnecessary. But hey, the riots were cool, I guess. And in the end of that, you know, a lot of the police did give in. You know, they did either retire or they tried to make changes within their own branch. But, you know, it's only so much people could do because it's something that's been going on for years. Recently, black man, Marcellus Williams, he was executed in the prison for a crime he did not commit. He spent 25 years in jail for a crime he did not commit, even after overwhelming evidence that his blood did not match the DNA found on the body of the crime scene. He did not match the description of the man that they were looking for. It was so much overwhelming evidence. The prosecutors presented it to the courts. The courts still said no, even after the testimony of the victim's family, and they're saying that they didn't want him in jail anymore. They didn't want him executed. Like, they understand that the scientifically proven evidence of his DNA not matching and video evidence that he's not the person that they're looking for, they still executed him because they needed someone to go down. And the judge's words was specifically that he's been in jail for 25 years for this crime. I don't believe that the evidence you have came up with now is credible to let him off. In so many words, basically saying he already did the time, you know, executing him ain't gonna really make it a difference because he's been here for 25 years of his life. He came to terms with that. I watched the interview about it, and you know, He prayed to his God about it, and he was content with whatever. He had already been there for 25 years. There was really nothing more he could do. But I say this to say that I feel like us as a minority, you know, Black, Indian, Arabic, you know, Latinos, whatever your ethnicity, nationality, whatever you are, I feel like us as a minority, we definitely have to get into, you know, knowing our constitution, knowing our laws, knowing our rights. Because I know a lot of, like, my friends won't even know their rights. They just be looking slow at the police. They don't know their basic rights, like, you know. So I feel like we should definitely all learn it, because it definitely does give you a hand up. You know, and the law system is not good. Like, they definitely will put you in the room, interrogate you, lie to you, and say all type of stuff, you know, tamper with charges and everything. You could be in there for a misdemeanor, and now you got a felony charge. So you definitely have to know your rights. You have to advocate for yourself, because they are not the law enforcement that they are supposed to be, to advocate for us, to get us out of positions that we really don't have to be in, or avoid situations. And most of us don't even like talking to the police. Me personally, I do not like talking to the police, like, at all. I don't like seeing them in my peripheral, my eye vision, like, none of that. So I feel like we gotta learn that, though, because a lot of us can't advocate for ourselves. We can't get justice for ourselves, and a lot of things can go wrong, because I know kids who have been in police stations and don't know their rights, can't advocate for themselves. Some of them don't even know that they can't talk to the police without a parent involved if they're minors. So I really think, like, y'all gotta learn y'all constitution, y'all gotta learn y'all laws, y'all rights. You gotta advocate for yourself as a Black person, as a Black man, as a person of minority, just in general. So yeah, that's my speech.